Okay guys, if you've ever seen this Smart Pen and this writing board on Amazon, you might have seen it just listed by its features rather than its name brand. This is the Ophaya Pen, what I like to call the Ophaya Smart Pen, and this is the Ophaya writing board. Now, if you're wondering if this is something you might want to get, I'm just going to give you a little tour of all of its features and how it works and everything. So for starters, the pen is USB chargeable. You just take off this bottom cap here, and that's where you can charge it with a USB cord. It'll take about 2 hours to charge, but once it is charged, according to the manufacturer, that charge will last 8 hours of constant use, or 120 days in standby mode. As far as the writing board itself, it runs on a CR2025 coin battery, and that will keep it powered for a year. It doesn't turn off. It basically just runs like a watch. So it's very much like a real piece of paper where you can just write at it pretty much any time. You don't have to worry about powering it on. Now, to write with it, what I like to do is make sure I'm in the app first, and that the app knows that I'm like here. If you take the cap off the pen, that turns the pen on. Putting a cap back on the pen turns it off. So just like a real pen, you can write when the cap is off. You won't write when it's on. So what I like to do is connect here, see if there's anything to load up, and there isn't. And I'm just going to hit new page, which will take me to a blank page here. Now, you don't have to have this thing like lit up. You don't have to have your cell phone or whatever device you have it paired to in your Ophaya app actually with the screen on or anything. You can just treat this from that point on like it's a real notebook. So I could put something like, hi, you, I don't know, scribbly stuff, hash marky thing, and then new page. You just hit this new page button. Now this screen here will still be lit up, but if you hit this bottom center button, that will clear the screen. So now that we're on a new page, I'm just going to draw some circles here just for the sake of doing that. New page again, and I'm going to draw some squares. And I always like to hit new page again anyways. So now, if I go back to the app, we can see that one note that I made with all the hash marks. So if I get out of here, there's a lot of blank stuff here, but if you click into it, it shows the new notes that I made. If you ever run into it where you were writing without looking at the app and whatnot, what you could do is click into this pen thing and hit sync offline data. In this case, it's going to tell me that there is no offline data to sync because it already sank, or synced, I should say. So that's basically how that works. Now, cool thing is, and I'll show you this, if you hit this circle here, that starts a recorded presentation on whatever device you're recording on. Now, if you can see here, if I draw something here, it actually writes in real time. Not only this recording my pen strokes, it's also recording my audio from the phone. So whatever device, I'm using the phone right now, if you hit record, it's using your phone's microphone to record your audio. So if you check this out, just to show you a few things, I hit the thickness selector. There's 3 different thicknesses that you could choose from on the board, but in the app you actually have a few more choices than that. Now, you could also use the eraser in the phone app, and if you draw over whatever it is on the board that you want to erase, it'll erase it in the app. Then you can select your pen again and your thickness of whatever line you want to draw, and you can choose different colors. So let's just say red in cursive, green in cursive, blue, black. Alright, so that's the way that's looking right here. Now let's see how well this can do. I'm going to just stop this recording. And now let's say text recognition, see what it does. It messed up my one where I said red and it said med, but otherwise it green, blue, black, and it put a dash under the word black where I underlined it. So it does a pretty good job. There's been times where I've written an entire paragraph, and to me it was surprising that the machine read the whole thing perfectly. So another thing is, some people think that, and you can tell that you have your audio saved here because of that icon. So I click into this one where I made my video recording, my presentation. Some people think that you can't send your video. And the reason why is if you click share and then click video and then choose Bluetooth or whatnot to send it to your computer, there will be a long delay and then it will tell you that it's starting to send. So I've seen people who think that it doesn't work, and I've actually discovered by accident that sometimes, or actually every time that I've tried to send a video to my computer, if I click to send the video, you just have a long delay, like 2, sometimes 3 minutes, maybe even more, until it starts to send, but it will send. But yeah, you could send a video where it just has your pen strokes, and so you can make presentations, you can make notes, you can have several pages of notes, different colors, different line thicknesses, and even if you're not even using the app, which I like the app because I actually do need the notes. I'm trying to study math right now. To me, it's just really nice to have something where you can write like this, clear it, and then do your next practice, because with like languages or math, you just have to do a lot of writing to really get it down. So it's good to have something where you could write and then clear and then write again. And so just out of curiosity, let's see how all those notes turned out. Sometimes it'll do that overwriting thing if I'm not careful. But there's also been times where I just picked up the board and I've written several pages. See, here I am syncing it. It says available space is all synced. There it is. Yeah, so it took every page I wrote that time. But there's been a lot of times where I'd have the cap on, so the pen's off, I'd have my phone off, and I wasn't even in the app. And then I'd just pick up and start writing, and I'd do page after page after page, and all the pages would come through just perfectly. I just think it's a great, useful thing. It's not very expensive. It's $90 on Amazon. And yeah, if you're just looking for a good way to study without having to deal with like dry erase boards and rags and markers, or a bunch of pages of paper, then this is a good thing to have. Plus, another advantage is you don't have to worry about how you're going to write. The thing's already a firm board that you can write on, so you can write like anywhere with it. Alright, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I tried to cover all the basic things that I had questions about when I first got this. Hopefully you found that helpful.